Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube segment, what I'm going to be talking about is about what a strong person is, or rather the many, I guess the many ways, the various ways that one can be defined as a strong person. Now, strong can be very subjective. Some people look at it in the most literal sense, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger, um, doing things that are physically strenuous, showing sometimes it's showing inordinate willpower, sometimes it's showing great strength of character, sometimes it's showing great physical strength, as I stated with Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, Lee Haney, and these and famous bodybuilders and people. There's just such a wide divergence of ways that one could be strong. I've had some people say that they felt I was a strong person, but the thing about it is, I think you have to look at it like, well, there's such a manifold ways of looking at someone's strength as a person. Now, if people want to say, well, being strong is about battling back from adversity, being resilient, coming back from setbacks, well, maybe people want to say that that's strong, and that's why some people may define me that way. But what it is, though, is that what's really important to remember is that we are all strong in our own way. We're all weak in our own way. I don't know if I could say I'm really that strong a person. Does a strong person make well below the whatever the average U.S. salary is? A strong person stays in an office and doesn't have his regular home. I don't know if we could say that. A strong person at 45 years old, still no significant other, essentially no family. See, that's why I say that being strong is very subjective, and you have to look at it. There's a lot of different perspectives to look at that. Now, on the positive side, when I look at myself, maybe I could say something's a testament to my character, that I haven't jumped off a cliff or anything, and I'm still intact, and I'm still living, I'm still breathing. The thing about it is, everybody has their certain strengths. They have their good attributes. They have their negative. When I look at this, sometimes we have what it is as far as really showing our strengths at certain moments. And I think what one has to remember is to really emphasize and accentuate what they have as far as the qualities they have that they feel are strong. Now, you could always make modifications and change as far as your weaknesses are if you're cognizant of your weaknesses. There's some people, though, that obviously are so arrogant and so full of themselves that they feel like they have virtually no weaknesses. In some cases, that could be like a lot of self-confidence and self-assuredness. You take somebody like legendary NBA player Michael Jordan. Well, Michael Jordan might have come off as maybe arrogant or egotistical to a lot of people, but in a lot of ways, and I think strongly he was very confident. He felt he was the best, and he went out and attempted to conquer on a night to night or day to whatever, the game to game basis, regardless of the times that they played their basketball games. The point being, sometimes it's about having that certain confidence and that self-assuredness without going overboard or becoming overly cocky or arrogant, where one can often I think they could define in a way that their own future and do the right things that are positive for themselves by having that confidence. Now, with me, I don't know if I'm really the most confident or self-assured person in the world. Sometimes a lot of setbacks and disappointments will cause that. And in certain ways, I know that I'm not a very strong person. Now, do I let me become so despondent that I give up on life or anything like that? Absolutely not. I've said, I believe in other videos, that my spirit won't be broken. The heart can be broken to some degree by negative situations, but the main thing, I think, to have certain strength of character is that to make sure that your spirit always moves forward. Sometimes we can't help but ruminate or lament about the past, and sometimes I think we get caught up in that, and it's hard to move forward, and it's hard to exert that strength that we really need to call upon. And that's why I look at this as far as being strong, that it is all about perspective. It's all very, like I stated, being subjective. It's all about one's individual vantage points, and I think what I say in the final analysis with me is that I feel like everybody else, I have my strong attributes and I have my negative ones, and really that's what it's all about. And I think it's important that when we look at ourselves and evaluate ourselves as far as our strength and our being a strong person, our strength of character, to just objectively see what the positives are, and keep them going, and of course what the negatives are, and try to improve them, and make them to where you can eliminate them. Well, we're all flawed people. There's no infallible person, of course. We're all going to have our positives, and we'll all have negatives till day we die to some degree. But that's basically what I wanted to get on as far as sharing my thoughts on being a strong person. And anyway, people, this is Edwin Learnard, and until next time, stay well and have a Happy New Year.